And welcome into a fun Friday edition of the show today. We have a stacked panel and plenty of opinions to share as Inside Out 2 has officially opened in theaters nationwide with a lot of family audiences making their way to the Cineplex. But will the film be looked at as a box office beast or will it fade as quickly as a summer sunset? We will discuss. This weekend we get some major TV shows to sink our teeth into, including The Boys, which has launched on Prime Video, and House of the Dragon on Max, as John will use that HBO show as inspiration for his next Lunt's List, which we will unveil today. And what got pulled out of the Dune popcorn bucket for our latest retro trailer reaction? Spoiler alert, it's yet another Rockstar selection. It's all happening right here on The Meltdown as we are presented by MyBookie, broadcasting live from the lovely Culver studio.
Two big boys in a tiny studio, teaching you and me about everything they know that makes sound a meltdown. It's the meltdown, time for the meltdown, coming for the meltdown. Let's start the show.
And what a week it has been leading us to this fun Friday edition of The Meltdown. We appreciate all of you for joining us right here in Meltdonia each and every week, making this thing what it is. I am your Meltdown host, Tim Melton, and we encourage you to subscribe to the channel as we're looking to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the summer season. And my goodness, it feels like summer is here, not only with a big movie at the theaters to talk about, but also with this summer heat. John, it looks like you're playing the role of embarrassment today, if I'm not mistaken. You look very...
I could get over my wire. I was going to do the whole thing over my head. But yes,
okay. Not the best impression that you will get on today's show, I promise.
I had a cable, sorry. I'm John.
What do you want me to do when you botch it that bad? How do I recover?
Just say, John, you're an idiot. Move on.
John, you're an idiot. Move on. Let's go to this. Mr. Lunsford.
Yes.
Yesterday's Meltdown Arcade was one for the ages.
Yes. Classic.
For those that didn't see what transpired yesterday, it was very dramatic is all I will say.
It was.
And there's video evidence of this, not only on the channel in full form, but also a short out there for people to watch. And it was intense. What would you like to say?
I haven't played much FIFA. I have played FIFA before. We decided, let's play FIFA. We played NHL. Of course, we've done...
Can we call this FIFA? Is that allowed?
Whatever. EAFC
Everybody
24.
else calls
it's still FIFA.
I'm just wondering.
But we've obviously played plenty of Madden here, and we're going to play a ton of college football here in the next month or so. So we decided let's play something different. We'll play FIFA. You and I played a very close game, 1-0. EG and Tyler played a game that was not so close. Tyler
was bringing it up the pitch with his goalie.
Yeah, Tyler literally was showboating as much as possible.
Keeper. In hockey, it's a goalie.
I focused so much on pitch that I missed.
You nailed that part.
I missed the other half.
I would have accepted goalie. I played the position.
We were playing with English teams, so
yes. And then we played a championship match between me and Tyler. And Tyler was Arsenal, I believe, and I was Manchester City. And it was a classic. Scored late to tie it 2-2 in overtime. Scored in the second overtime period or whatever it's called, extra time period. And won 3-2.
We're not able to hide the fact that we know nothing about soccer.
We know nothing about soccer at all.
But it's a fun game.
It is a fun game. And then Tim and I played it probably 5 or 6 games, I feel like, before we started today that were all really close, really good.
This is not a bash Tyler session. I just want to make that clear. That's not what this is. That's not what the goal of this is, because next I am going to Laurel. Laurel, welcome back into the studio.
I'm so
Always
excited.
lovely to have you. How do you feel like Tyler performed earlier this week on Triple Threat Trivia?
Tyler was the MVP in my opinion. Like, I was stunned. I mean, I'm not that stunned because Tyler is smart. I mean, he's Eddie. Like, of course he's going to be good.
I like the backtrack on. I was stunned Tyler knew anything.
but no, because I feel like y'all were hyping it up that Spud was going to be like leading Tyler into victory, and really it was kind of the opposite. And I'm just kind of surprised that Spud kind of flopped and Tyler was like a star.
Tyler was a star.
He was.
He
You will
was.
not be seeing Tyler in the championship round of Meltdown Triple Threat Tornado Tag Team Trivia.
I know.
Nope, just
and
through
if
the glass.
something should happen, Tyler, I hope you don't throw us under the bus again, because I still remember that too. 2 weeks, I can't hold a grudge.
Tyler
so.
did really good, but he threw us under the bus.
You
and
did.
Tyler,
you did,
I hate you for
though.
doing that.
Do you confirm? Did he not throw us under the bus? Okay.
You talking about with the challenge?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this thing. If y'all win the tournament, are y'all going to continue to bring up the challenge
Yeah,
for the end
we're
of
gonna
time?
we're gonna get a T-shirt made, and we'll have like an asterisk on the back. Yeah.
All hell. God Save the Queen with... No, I fixed it. God Save the Queen with Queen marked out and King put
Yes.
in. Yeah, that sounds good. We'll get those T-shirts made, I'm sure, very soon. Producer Tyler is back here with us. More frustrating to play. Triple Threat Trivia or Video Games Against John?
Video games with John. Not even close.
Did you play any more FIFA throughout the remainder of your day? Did you go home and...
I did not. I did
Okay.
not.
I just didn't know if you had a chip on your shoulder, if you had a strategy, if you had a revenge tour coming up. I feel like if you got one more shot at him, you'd show no mercy.
Not getting a red card for my center back will be the main strategy. That really hurt me. And then
I don't know what that means, but yes.
it means the
means
most
Tyler fouled
important person to defend the ball from
Yeah.
going in, other than the goalkeeper,
Yeah.
was out for the whole game, and I played a man short.
There is nothing that's going to test friendships more than challenge flags being thrown in Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia and Meltdown Arcade on Thursdays. So
Yes.
I appreciate everybody showing up for work today. Rockstar, so happy to have you here in
I
the
bet you are.
studio. I really am. We went back to the Dune popcorn bucket. This time it was Scott Forrester who stuck his hand into the abyss and pulled out a film that once again you selected. And I don't know, is that cardstock you used?
Can I pull the curtain back a little bit about this?
Please.
And I have a suggestion. If you guys, even though, what am I, 4 deep? If we do 10 each?
Yeah.
You're going to get us to rewrite them all? I don't think
No. Get somebody not affiliated like Laurel to dig around there, and you can feel which one's cardstock. Individually pull those and give them back to me, and I will retype them on another piece of on natural paper. So mine are, because like I feel like the fix is in and it's not. When I printed it, Reed had stock paper. I didn't know this. That was my. So, but to get back to it, the selection was 1996 classic, The Cable Guy with Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick, Jack
Call
Black.
it a classic, but it was very divisive.
It got killed and it bombed because that was when after Dumb and Dumber and he got his huge. I think it was a $20 million paycheck because that was the movie after Dumb and Dumber when Jim Carrey blew up. And Ben Stiller directed, got Jim Carrey, and it was a dark comedy that was not successful, but I love it. And I think Laurel agrees. I think Laurel's the only one in here that agrees with me.
I love this movie.
I have only seen it already
I think
because
we
Laurel
own it.
made me watch it.
I really do think we own it.
Oh,
I think we bought it during COVID.
Could we consider this a cult classic, The
Yes.
Cable Guy?
I think so.
Yes, I think it's made to that point.
I think it has. Tyler, have you ever seen the Jim Carrey vehicle, The Cable Guy?
I have not. I was reading off the cast earlier today, and it is stacked with everybody that I like. So I'm looking forward to this one.
It certainly is. Featuring a stacked cast of dental professionals. That's Alabama Dental Associates, as they have Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian over there on Grants Mill Road. They have very flexible office hours, so that way you can visit the professional dental team that they put together on a more convenient schedule. If you need to find the absolute best dentists in town, then I have found the solution for you, and I'm so happy to share it. They not only have all the latest advancements in dental healthcare technology, but they also have the absolute friendliest staff in town. You're going to feel that the moment you walk in. Everybody so happy to have you there at Alabama Dental Associates. They are accepting new patients now and can help you feel at ease about all of your upcoming dental procedures. For more information or to make an appointment, call them at 205-956-8977. Or you can visit alabamadental.com, as they look forward to seeing you. And I hear pretty soon here, Dr. Brian is going to be playing at the Primetime Poker Club. That's going to be happening
I'm ready.
in about a week and a half. So,
Ready for him to see all
Rockstar,
the fun.
if there's one night you want to pick to come play poker with us, it'll be that night.
I have felt the tension between you and I that you do not want my presence at a poker game because I
The only tension you may have
I
felt.
annoy Tim with my poker stuff.
No, the only tension that you may have felt is that I would never be able to get you to come to a poker game.
Oh, I would. Could I just watch? I'm not going to play.
No, you have to play.
I think you can play. I've played
I'm not
with
putting
John
money-
before. You can play.
I'm not going to put money into something I don't understand.
Well,
And then have you guys who are
Hey, I
playing
do every
against me be
night.
my teachers, be my Yoda.
I put money in every Monday night. I don't understand anything.
Oh, bull butterscotch.
I didn't understand FIFA, and I played it yesterday.
Did you have money on it?
I did not, and I would never put money on that game.
So no.
Okay.
But I would love to go watch and just, could I be like the guy that interviews in between hands? Like, John, what are you thinking right now? That's a pretty queen you got.
Can you wear one of those hats
King.
that has like a?
Oh, yeah.
like
I wear
visor?
glasses because y'all can't read me.
They didn't even catch it.
He did.
Okay.
He said king.
Let's go to a little segment we call Hot or Cold. I'm going to give you some entertainment headlines. You tell me whether you're hot or cold on them. First answer I want out of your mouth is hot or cold. Or you could go in Fuego or Streetwater Sour Cream or
Frozen butt paste.
Frozen Butt Paste. That's what
Is that worse
Rockstar
or
likes to go
better
with.
than
Well, my son has to
sour
wear
cream?
butt paste, and frozen butt paste seems to be rough.
Boudreaux's?
Yeah, of course. It's literally
classic.
called Boudreaux's butt paste.
Is there any other type of butt paste that anyone would?
I used Boudreaux's butt paste when I played football. Like when it was really, really hot outside and you kind of get...
Laurel is disgusted right
You got a
now.
hot
She's
mic.
not
I
even-
had to
You got a
buy
hot
it when
mic
you,
right now.
it goes on your legs.
Yeah, it goes on your legs. Like really hot. Like right now, like, you know, when you're out there running
And
drills in the
it's
summer.
a
like
beautiful clay color.
2 days it is.
Well,
Speaking of running drills, Alabama Dental Associates, Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian over on Grants Mill Road, they are the best at what they do. Okay. Question number 1. It's going to go to Laurel Lunsford. Laurel.
Okay.
Disney and Pixar's latest animated outing grossed $13 million last night in Thursday previews domestically, with $22.3 million worldwide. The family-friendly sequel is projected to launch between $80 to $90 million this weekend. Are you hot or cold on Inside Out 2 being the biggest opening weekend of the year to this point, as Warner Brothers currently holds the top 2 spots of 2024, with Dune Part 2 at $82.5 million and Godzilla Kong: The New Empire at $80 million?
Hot. I think Pixar. I think this is a good movie. We saw it last night. The theater was like crowded. I think something that's really interesting with all this, with us going to see Bad Boys last week, which was also crowded, and I've seen people making this a point, and everyone's like, "Oh, the movie theaters are dead." Like all this, it's like maybe there just wasn't stuff that people wanted to see. Like I think people wanted to see Inside Out. There were so many like I won't say they're teenagers, probably like in college now, but they were like they waited to make this movie until we like grew up, and like there were a bunch of people that were like that in our theater, and then. I think most people still really like Will Smith. I mean, I know that people kind of like with the whole thing with Chris Rock was touch and go there for a while. I honestly don't think most people care. And I think they want to see movies like this. So I think hot.
Okay. You just, I think in that whole answer, saved the entire theatrical exhibition industry in one answer as well.
Let's not go too far, but yeah.
Good job. Okay, we've got Tyler over there. Tyler, you're not big on Inside Out or Inside Out 2, but are you hot or cold on this being the biggest opening weekend of the year to this point?
What were the figures again?
Tyler's got to make an assessment.
Dune Part 2 is the leading opening weekend domestically at $82.5 million opening weekend. Are you betting against Dune Part 2 as holding on to that? Take your time.
Ooh, lukewarm. It could, but 80 million's pretty strong for this
I
year.
feel like lukewarm is not picking any side.
It's saying
Am I
I
right?
have no idea. I have no
If Dune was at
earthly
82,
idea.
I guess lukewarm is saying it will hit 82 exactly.
So if Inside Out 2 hits $82.5 million, Tyler, your lunch is paid for next week, because that would be incredible for you just to name it on
All right.
Monday. Okay, good answer. Let's go to Rockstar. Rockstar. $82.5 million is where Dune Part 2 is. My question is, will Inside Out 2 make more in its opening weekend based on the enthusiasm that you've been able to absorb through whatever's going on in your public circles?
I'm going to go with Tyler. Can you tell me what number 2 was?
Number 2 was Godzilla Kong.
What the number?
It was at $80 million.
Oof. See, I'm torn because it's summer. It's a kids' movie. I'm going to say hot. I think it will. Because of the kids factor being summer, kids are out of school, got to find something to do, and then other people live in the nostalgia.
We got 2 hots and a lukewarm. I know you're in fuego on this probably
In fuego.
because you went 90 to 95 million opening weekend. I think I mean, would you be surprised if it hit $100 million this opening weekend?
Not at all.
I would not either.
No, in Fuego, 100% is going to beat Dune. I mean,
It is.
If it gets to 100, I don't know. I do think it'll get over 90, but absolutely in Fuego.
It is a movie that's going to have great word of mouth, I feel like.
Yep.
It's going to appeal to all members of the family.
Yep.
Old, young, male, female. It's going to end up really drawing in, I think, a lot of big crowds for sure. Let's go to number 2 on this round of Hot or Cold. Rockstar, the 4 founding members of R.E.M. performed together publicly for the first time in nearly 3 decades at the Songwriters Hall of Fame ceremony in New York last night, playing an acoustic version of their breakthrough song 1991's Losing My Religion. Are you hot or cold on this reunion?
It was just a one-night thing. I love that they did this. It's sad because I love them so much, but they've aged, and this is going to start rumors that they're going to do a reunion tour. I just don't think they can do it. I don't think they want to do it. I don't know how they got convinced to do this to get all 4 original members in. A humble brag, I texted Mike this morning, congratulations, and he texted me back. So
Nice.
my buddy
Wow.
Mike. I just think it's
Better say you're hot on this then.
yeah. I'm not. I'm hot on the idea. Are you asking for a reunion like tour, or just the fact that this happened last night?
Are you hot or cold on this reunion as in what took place last
Yes,
night?
I'm hot on. I think it's great they deserve it, and I love that they got back together. But I'm sad that there's gonna be rumors like you guys got to do like a world tour, and then it's like we're not gonna do that. We can't. But yes, hot. Love them.
Laurel, R.E.M. having a reunion last night. Are you hot or cold on this?
Hot. I feel like the 90s are so back. I feel like everyone is like obsessed with everything from the. I mean, do you not feel that way? I feel like it's just so.
I'm not there yet, but
I feel like everyone's just like obsessed with everything 90s. Like it's like going. There's R.E.M. shirts at like Urban Outfitters that you see like the 15-year-old girls, wearing that probably have.
there's no
Nirvana.
doubt, Laurel, you bring a different perspective to the show than we do, because I would not know that this was a shirt that you could buy at Urban Outfitters.
Oh, yeah, I tell Sean and I tell John all the time. I always know like how old I'm getting when I go into Urban Outfitters, because like when I used to go in when I was like in high school, like the vintage shirts were like Nirvana. You would see Pearl Jam. And then now when I go in, it's like Justin Bieber's original album, Lady Gaga's first album.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
like, but then you think about it, I guess it's been like 15, 20 years ago.
I
since this
saw
came
a
out.
vintage Dark Knight shirt the
Yeah.
other day with Heath Ledger on it.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
a big one. Yeah.
Hey, look over your shoulder right now. He's staring right at you, Tyler.
Why so serious?
Whoa. Tyler, hot or cold on this R.E.M. reunion?
I got to go with the same as Rocky. I'm hot on R.E.M. as a whole, and I think it was cool, but I don't want to see like a reunion tour out of this.
John, hot or cold? Be honest.
Lukewarm. I don't want to say cold. I do like some of R.E.M.'s music, and overall, like I can respect and dig R.E.M., but I don't care, honestly. I feel like their bigger stuff was like late 80s. Like songs that I would know was like late 80s, like It's the End of the World as We Know It was
Yeah, but
late
they-
80s.
they were
like,
college- they were
was Losing
college-
My Religion late 80s. I don't know.
No, that was 90s. That was 91. So the ones you really know are Losing My Religion, Everybody Hurts, Man on the Moon. All that stuff was in the 90s.
I'm just not a big fan of them, so I don't really
What's
know.
the Frequency? Kenneth was in the 90s.
Sure. Lukewarm, because I like some of their stuff, but I don't really care outside of that.
Speaking of music, we'll stick with John Lunsford. For those that hope the Eras Tour might get extended into a third calendar year with dates in 2025, Taylor Swift has officially confirmed that the global tour will come to a close with its currently scheduled final dates in the U.S. in December of this year. Swift said in Liverpool at her 100th Eras performance, quote, "This is the very first time I've ever acknowledged to myself and admitted that this tour is going to end in December. Like, that's it." Are you hot or cold on this being the official end of the Eras Tour?
In Fuego, homegirl needs a break. She needs to stop, go marry Travis Kelce, live at home for a year without having to pump out 5,000 albums
Give
and
us an
touring.
album, damn, please.
And I mean, she has been freaking stop since she started the Eras Tour, really since COVID hit, because I know she had nothing but time to sit at home and
R.I.P. Loverfest.
and Loverfest sounded like it was gonna be cool. We were gonna go to Boston to see that, and it got canceled.
The most diehard of haters of Taylor Swift have never called her one thing, and that is lazy. because she is willing to outwork them all. Rockstar, you have great respect for that quality of hers, even though you're not a huge fan of her catalog, her music. Are you hot or cold on this being the official end of the Eras tour? It feels like we've heard about it now forever.
Again, I said this on the show. I'm hot on it. Again, on the show, she is up there right now with Michael Jackson and the Beatles. Nobody's ever done something like this. And the logistic, you ever feel pressure in your job? Like it gives me chills to think of her 4 hours before a performance. Like, I got to do this. Like, there are so many little girls relying on me to say I can't cancel if I'm sick, if I have a sore throat. What she's done, if it's been 3 years, and to be on top of news headlines everywhere over the world, and not to be like, there's not a negative, yes, people are going to hate her and everything, but you're right, she works her tail off. She sings her songs. She's not doing the Britney Spears mic thing and just dancing. It's just like, I admire what she's done, but I'm not a huge fan of her music. I like some of the stuff, but I totally acknowledge what she's done is changing the music industry and entertainment industry.
Absolutely. Laurel, hot or cold on this being the official end of the Eras tour? You got to be a little conflicted, I would think.
I'm hot. Like, I honestly, the speech kind of made me sad yesterday. Like, it really, I think a lot of people assumed, but you never really know, because she is like always like kind of on top of it. But she last night, I think, and people piece these two things together. She said this, and she seemed sad, about like, basically, I haven't had a life in 3 years. And at 4 a.m., I guess it'd be England time, she was on one of the Chiefs players' wives' lives, like commenting things, like I feel like she really wanted to be at that. Like, she really wanted to be there. Like, because why else would you be up at 3 or 4 in the morning? And I feel like she probably thinks that she's missing out on, if it is with Travis Kelce, with her parents, with just relaxing. And I think she's going to direct a movie. So I think she will get into that. I think she'll do more. I think she'll still do music. I don't think she'll ever do a tour like this, though. Again, I think it'll just be like back to her normal routine. She'll have an album come out like once every 2 years, do a tour, and that'd be that. It's been a mega success. Hot or cold on this being the official end of the Eras tour?
Cold, I guess. It's nice that she gets a break. She's been working hard, but I really don't care one way or the other.
Excellent.
Let's move on. Work. Go back out there and do more tours.
Get to it. I do have a request here from the chat. I need the microphone with Rockstar, because Jody says, Rocky, explain to everyone the story behind What's the Frequency, Kenneth?
I don't know the full story. Was it Dan Rather? Some guy randomly in the 80s during a news broadcast hit him on the head during a live news broadcast. It just said, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" and ran off. I don't know the full story. There's a story behind it, so I apologize. Okay. But it is literally that's verbatim what the guy said. Hit Dan. I think it was Dan Rather. While he was doing a live news report, somebody just bonked him on the head and said, "What's the frequency, Kenneth?" Then R.E.M. wrote a song about it.
And then Jace says, "Marry Travis Kelce," something no one has probably ever said, John. I don't know.
Every female on the earth, I feel like, has said it.
Yeah, probably so. That will be the wedding of the century.
I'll tell you who's not said it. That's Lance Taylor, who still thinks it's fake.
A year in?
He's never walked it back, right?
No.
Taylor Kelce.
Okay, next question. We're going to go to Rockstar.
Okay.
Jimmy Fallon has renewed his deal with NBC Universal, holding on to his position as the host of The Tonight Show now through 2028.
I'm sorry, that was just really funny.
Jimmy,
you nailed it right there.
Jimmy Fallon impression. Are you hot or cold on feeling as if Jimmy Fallon is currently the best talk show host in America?
Frozen butt paste.
Okay. Not a fan, huh?
I'm sorry. Just for character. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. That's God, you're so funny.
Should I ask it one more time?
No, because you'll lose me. I'm sorry. God, you're funny. You're one of the funniest guys I've ever met. I know I said that to the last guest, but God, you're funny.
Thank you. My confidence, I feel good now. I'm ready to go play some tic-tac-toe or something. Let me ask you, Tyler, are you hot or cold on feeling as if Jimmy Fallon is currently the best talk show host in America?
This is a blend between Streetwater sour cream and frozen butt paste. I don't like the format. I think Jimmy Fallon's awful. Like, I can't stand watching Jimmy Fallon clips for all the reasons Rockstar just acted out. They're just bad interviews, I think.
Laurel, lots of disdain here for Jimmy Fallon? Are you going to jump on that bandwagon? Are you hot or cold on feeling as if Jimmy Fallon is currently the best talk show host in America?
I think lukewarm. I mean, I don't hate him as much as these guys do, but I've never particularly cared for him. In fact, we just watched Almost Famous for the first time. I forgot he's in that movie. You know, he tried to make it for an actor after like SNL. He kind of reminds me, and I guess because they do so much together, of like a Justin Timberlake, like someone to me that's kind of like past like their, you know, peak. But like, I guess there's still enough nostalgia that people still really like him. But I can't tell you the last time I've watched one of his shows. Like I'll see a clip here and then, but like I'm not going to seek it out.
It feels
I feel like it's just made for YouTube clips at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't like.
why
What's the
you
other?
would sit there and watch.
What's
the
the
whole
other
thing.
late night person? James.
Colbert's late night. Jimmy
Corden
Kimmel's
is
late
left.
night.
Okay, that's
Corden
the one.
left.
I didn't even know that.
The
Like
new
those
one,
two.
the one that took over Corden is Taylor Tomlinson.
Yeah.
Female. She's a hilarious comedian.
Oh, she's a good comedian. Is she not good on the show?
I've never seen her show.
Okay.
It's like After Midnight or something like that. But she is a fantastic comedian. I've just never seen her live show.
So lukewarm.
John, hot or cold on Jimmy Fallon being the best talk show host in America?
Currently,
Hot.
Who's better?
I haven't heard any names really.
None of y'all can tell me. And the only person you can say is Kimmel.
No,
if you want to argue Kimmel, I'd say okay, but it ain't Colbert.
I don't watch any of them, but I would take tonight. I would watch Colbert before I watch Jimmy Fallon.
I would watch Fallon before Colbert.
I would watch. Oh, Colbert's. I like Stephen Colbert. This just ain't his gig. Like what he was doing at Comedy Central.
This isn't Jimmy Fallon's gig.
That's his shtick. Fallon is infinitely better than Colbert. I think you can argue Kimmel. I'll take Kimmel, but who else is out there
This
better
would
right
have
now?
been easy.
Conan's not doing it anymore.
If Conan had still had a
Yes.
show, this would have been simple.
Yeah,
You know
but
who else
he's not
was
doing
good?
it, so there's nobody else out
Was
there.
Chelsea Handler? I thought she was good when she used to have that. You know, she was like considered for one of the
She was
positions.
okay.
I
And
think
George
she would have
Lopez
been.
had a show on TBS. He did.
Just like Conan.
Yeah.
Who
yeah.
hosted The Late Show before it was given to James Corden? Do you remember? Craig Ferguson, right?
Craig Ferguson.
I would take Craig Ferguson
Yeah.
over anybody currently.
Does
I'll agree with that.
I didn't dislike him himself, and I liked him when he was like acting, but I did not care for his late night show for some reason.
What about Noah? What does he do?
Trevor Noah, he's Daily Show, Show.
No, it's like, can I take Jon Stewart even though he's one day a week?
I don't think you can.
See, I
He's,
don't
he's, he's my absolute favorite, Jon Stewart, and then I don't care for anybody else. Conan was number one.
It's just there's nobody else right now.
The talk show
except Kimmel.
format on television, on cable television and network TV, it's just trending in the wrong direction.
Well,
You say
Conan-
Fallon is that way. Literally, all of them are that way.
That's what I'm saying.
Conan made
Even
a good-
Conan got that way towards the end. I mean,
Conan's made
everybody's that way.
on his podcast. He's made a point about it. He said, like, I love this format doing this podcast because you get great guests on your show, on your late night show, but I have 5 minutes with you. Then I have to pitch your show, watch a clip, go to break, come back. I got 3 minutes with you, and it's not it's the most safe interview I can do, and you just can't get anything out of it. This long form is the new thing, and you can take clips out of the long form. But that's why Jimmy Fallon. I'll give Jimmy Fallon credit. He's like, we got to go viral. Let's have Kate Hudson playing Pin the Tail on the Donkey with a blindfold. Just something different than asking her about
Jimmy
her new
Fallon
film.
may not work for you, but Jimmy Fallon has done nothing wrong.
I don't agree with that,
in terms
John.
of the show is nothing wrong because it doesn't work now.
What about all the reports of his staff contemplating?
I'm not saying
like,
how he acts. I'm saying the show has formatted
Content.
to today better than anybody, and everybody has followed Jimmy Fallon's lead. He has led the way. He's the innovator right now. Everybody, late night would not exist if it were not for the way Jimmy Fallon were doing it.
I think Jay Leno
Late night would not exist right now if it weren't for the way Jimmy Fallon were doing it, turning it into basically a YouTube.
It basically is. It's just like trying to.
Tell me Kimmel's not doing
No.
that. Tell me Conan didn't do that. Tell me Colbert's not doing that.
Is that not just because YouTube is killing late night?
Wouldn't you get? Couldn't you get?
I'd
James
much rather
Corden
watch
as-
if I'm gonna watch an influencer do a wacky game with a show host. I'd rather just turn on Mr. Beast.
Okay, but who did that first? Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying late night's great right now. Late night is what it is because of YouTube now. You had to make it work for that. Jimmy Fallon made it work for that. James Corden did carpool karaoke. That's the main thing James Corden did. But Kimmel has had to follow Fallon. Colbert has had to follow Fallon. Conan had to switch to that format. I mean, he was doing more of that beforehand. But as far as the main late night shows, Fallon had to pave the way for people to even care about it right now. If you weren't watching on YouTube, would any of y'all be watching? No, it would not exist if it weren't for that.
I understand you love digital media, but I think your take on
that
Fallon's
make
a
it a
little
good
bit
show?
too strong.
Late night would not exist if it weren't for them doing it for YouTube.
Okay. Jace says, I didn't see
And
this
I will
debate
die on
coming.
I'd
that hill.
honestly be.
I will die on
cool
that
with
hill.
that.
Okay.
I'm not okay, but am I not right? You may be cool with it, but
I think there's a space for long form content. We've seen that with YouTube, but I don't think you can do it on TV.
No,
so
I'm not saying
I'm
not saying change TV into YouTube. I'm saying in order for it to exist, it has to be consumed. It is only being consumed on YouTube.
I got a T-shirt idea. Lunsford has Fallon in love.
Okay, so
I didn't say I loved him. I just said who else is out there. Tell me somebody that beats him.
Yeah.
If you're saying best
What's
of
the
all
next question,
time, then
Tim?
yeah, he's like, poo, way down. But
John Oliver's great too.
that's not the same kind of show.
it's definitely not the same type of show. But this has been an interesting conversation. I had no idea this was in you, John. This sort of feeling that
Now, John Oliver is also making
Fallon
clips for
is a
YouTube, but
pioneer in the industry. I didn't.
Fallon is way down compared to Conan, Leno, Letterman, Johnny Carson, everybody
I'm talking
else.
about in the current state of the industry.
But it doesn't exist without the way him doing it that way.
Got it. Okay, let's move on to the next subject.
That's not exist. Period.
Stephen Colbert.
When Fallon retires, nobody will replace him. That's my bet.
disagree
Guarantee
with
Ryan
that.
Ryan Seacrest is waiting. I'm not.
Carson Daly.
I'm not. It's not a joke.
Wrong network. It has to be somebody like Carson Daly.
You're saying the Tonight Show dies with Jimmy Fallon?
I think so.
I don't think it does.
Now they'll get like some like young hootie to do
They're not
it.
going to let the Tonight Show just.
They may try to replace him.
It will
but
be
that
a
person
flop,
will
but
be the
it'll
death of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to move on to our next topic here.
Tell me somebody that doesn't.
John, Euphoria and the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes star Hunter Schafer has been tapped as the co-star opposite Michelle Yeoh in Amazon's upcoming Blade Runner 2099 TV series. The show is a sequel to Ridley Scott's original Blade Runner and Denis Villeneuve's follow-up movie, Blade Runner 2049. Are you currently hot or cold on this upcoming TV series? What's the proper word for this? Nuclear?
Fallon.
No, I'm gonna go hot.
You're not in fuego on this?
It depends how the show is.
Right.
I mean, Blade Runner 2049 turned me and Fuego into Blade Runner. The original Blade Runner, I would have just been hot, and I'm gonna go back to just hot for this. I think Ridley Scott's still like the power behind this. I don't know that he's actually
Seems
like
to
doing
be a
it,
producer
but,
behind
yeah,
it.
but he's still
gonna get some money.
the guy that's kind of behind it. I don't know that Denis Villeneuve behind it.
I don't think so.
See, I don't think so either. So that drops me back down because Denis Villeneuve is what took me to In Fuego. I like Michelle Yeoh. I mean, she was great, won an Oscar for a reason. Hunter Schafer is hit or miss for me. Hits on Euphoria. She was good in Hunger Games. I don't care about like Cuckoo or anything like that she has coming up. So I'm hot because I like Blade Runner. I like the idea behind Blade Runner, but I really like Denis Villeneuve, Ryan Gosling, Harrison Ford, Dave Bautista, the people who were in the one that he did, and none of those are going to be a part of this, as far as I know.
I want to give some respect to the chat here of acknowledging their voice and just throw out a couple of things. I don't want it to
Everybody disagrees with me.
I don't want it to go back to where we were, but I do want to acknowledge some good points here.
Honestly, I'm with Jody with Colin Jost. I'd like Colin Jost.
That's
he's good.
Yeah,
Lunsford's Fallon on the sword.
Jody.
This may be unpopular opinion. I think it's one of the best weekend update hosts.
Yeah, they're good.
Jody says Colin Jost will be the next Tonight Show host, and I don't think that he's in the pipeline already. Yeah. We've seen that'll work. We have Justin saying guarantee it's not Seth Meyers. I agree with that. And then we have Jace that says this will be the topic that breaks up the meltdown. I disagree with that. We've had much more sensitive topics than this.
And we've argued late night for a long time, too.
And Rockstar, we have Goose that says Conan did it first. Triumph the Insult Comic Dog went viral on YouTube.
A lot of his stuff did.
Conan's Paul Rudd running gag was made for
Correct.
YouTube. Kimmel and his feud with Matt Damon was made for YouTube. But, I think...
I'm not saying those bits,
I think the element that you need to...
Fallon made it a daily thing.
Fallon is formatting a show for it.
Fallon did a great job of incorporating guests into those bits.
Yeah, playing the games, stuff like that. He brings guests in just to play games, and I even interview them sometimes.
Okay, back to this really quickly. Blade Runner 2099.
Butt frozen butt paste.
Tyler, Blade Runner 2099.
Lukewarm. I haven't seen any of the Blade Runners.
Lukewarm.
Okay. I'm cold on this. I still got to watch Blade Runner 2049, but I just do not like the original Blade Runner.
Jared Leto is not going to be in this one.
My so-called lie.
I am going to go to Tyler on this one. Tyler.
All right.
I want to see this. Treat this as Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia, okay? The first 7 Saw films are all streaming in the same place following the release of the franchise's 10th installment last year. Where are they streaming?
Give me the name of all of them. Saw 1. Saw 2.
I'm going to go with like Shudder or Tubi.
That's incorrect. Laurel, do you have a guess?
I'm gonna say Max.
Nope. You have a guess?
Prime.
Nope. You have a guess?
Hulu, Disney.
Disney Plus.
It's Disney Plus. I did actually see that. Yeah.
I cannot
I
believe
assume it's a
this.
20th century thing.
All the first 7 Saw movies are currently streaming on Disney Plus. Laurel, are you hot or cold on seeing Saw 11 in a theater in 2025?
Oh, I mean, I'll go see it. I mean, like I said with the Saw movies, but like the 5th one, I really was like, there's a spoiler alert. There's another apprentice. Like, how many apprentices does this man have? Because like each movie, it's like there's just more apprentices being added. I love the 10th one. I love the 10th one.
I love the 10th one. I mean, listen to yourself.
a good one.
I just want to say these are the people that hate me for watching
It-
Fast and Furious,
It
by the
actually
way.
was good. Like
so
I was
good.
shocked at how good it was because it actually has a story
good.
and good. But I'm sure that this one will.
You're going to see
Not-
Fast and Furious
So-
10. What's wrong with you?
I'll ask one more time. Hot or cold?
Hot.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Hot is good.
You
John
can't get
Lunsford.
more frozen butt paste
Okay.
than anything about Saw.
Don't need you to say anything else. Rockstar, hot or
frozen,
cold?
frozen butt paste. I like.
Guys.
My God,
Tyler,
so many saws.
you get a chance to break the tie.
Is it possible to be cold but still go to see this?
Okay, that's more how I am too.
that's where
actually,
I'm at.
But
Laurel,
well,
traitor.
I mean, it was good, but I mean, you know
good.
it's gonna be bad. We all know it.
I don't agree. Okay, next question. John, the Eagles have announced a residency at Sphere in Las Vegas, featuring 8 shows over 4 weekends from Friday, September 20th through Saturday, October 19th.
Better than you too.
The general on sale will begin Friday, June 21st. Would you be hot or cold on seeing the Eagles at the Sphere?
Hot. I don't care about U2, so I'd rather see the Eagles. I'm getting a weird look from Rocky over there. I like the Eagles.
Dead and Company was there recently.
They were.
Tyler.
I'd rather see them over them too.
Tyler, hot or cold on seeing the Eagles at the Sphere in Las Vegas?
Hot, I guess. I like the Eagles all right. I'd rather see Dead and Company at the Sphere.
Laurel, hot or cold?
Cold because I remember last year they were saying that Harry Styles or Beyonce was going to be in the Sphere. Like, I guess this is what took its place, but like,
That's only for a couple weekends.
where is Harry Styles and Beyonce? That was promised, and
All right,
Not here.
Rockstar. The Eagles are adored.
They have frozen butt paste for this reason. I respect the Eagles, but they're a band. The Sphere is now more about visuals, about the experience, and when you take it easy, what is going to be around them?
I don't know. I mean,
Desperado.
I would love to see this.
they put the most
you-
random stuff around U2. I mean,
But U2, you can see U2 more as I'm not saying U2's amazing band, but they're more of a visual. You can do more with them visually because the Eagles are an old classic rock band that didn't do this kind of. I like that they're embracing it, and it's a huge paycheck for them. But just like that, having that stuff, it's just I don't think that show's going to be anything.
I think all of them, and even with the Grateful Dead, like it's not.
Laugh in the fast lane.
It's all just
Like
what
going
kind
down
of
the interstate. Like,
Yeah, there's
whoa.
gonna be just a,
like what random big thing can we put on the screen? That's what all of them are. I feel like even
I know.
U2 watching because I didn't really watch much of Dead and Company other than when they did a Bill Walton tribute, but like. For U2, it's just the most random. What kind of we're not
would
even
watch-
really listening to the music.
I would
kinda
watch just
thing.
about anything in the Sphere.
I mean, I probably would too, but I would rather if I'm going to actually
Jimmy
listen to
Fallon?
the music,
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I went to go see The Tonight Show. I went to go see a taping of The Tonight Show.
like the
With
actual
him?
music.
With
Yeah. I'd rather listen
who
to
are the
Eagles.
who are the guests?
It was George Lopez.
Oh, you know, if you're a Chicano, you know about this. We got disposable cameras, and we would take a. You turn them on. You Chicanos know about this.
say, I know, huh?
Yeah, I know.
and then play Lowrider.
Actually, the song they brought him out
Of
to.
course.
Yeah,
Was he on a
Gotta
trampoline?
be, yeah.
I saw Pitbull perform live.
God, you had a bad night.
I don't agree. It was in Orlando. They gave us free entry into Universal.
What did
So,
George Lopez? What game did he play?
He actually, I don't think, played a game. I think since it was a live, or it was
It's like a special
on
show.
remote show,
Oh,
they
okay.
just kind of sort of stuck to the basics there. But it was fun.
No, but frozen butt paste for me.
Okay. The Eagles in the Sphere. Tyler? Have you already answered
Yeah,
this?
you already asked me
I'm
to.
sorry. I went to Rockstar last.
You got
Okay,
focus on George Lopez.
I did. Next
I
question.
just realized the intro is very much like the Man Show intro, with them jumping on like trampolines. Anyway, speaking of Jimmy Kimmel,
Used to wake up in the middle of the night and see George Lopez jumping.
Yes,
on a
that's what I
trampoline.
tell you.
But we were going to
Like
Nashville
3 in
for
the
media
morning.
days last year. Laura would text me like 3 in the morning. I just woke up and heard Lowrider, and it's like haunting me in my dreams.
Tyler, Matt Damon and Casey Affleck reunite in the Doug Liman Boston crime comedy The Instigators. Are you hot or cold on this project, which will be streaming August 9th on Apple TV+.
Hot, although I probably won't get Apple TV Plus or whatever you said to watch it.
I'm right there with you. I wish this had a theatrical release because I would probably go see it. But the fact that it's straight to streaming and I don't have Apple TV Plus and don't plan to get it again is something that will keep me from watching it. Laurel, do you know anything about The Instigators?
I do. Everyone was saying it should have been Ben Affleck. I would have been more interested. I don't like Casey Affleck. So
I think most people
I
would be
like
more
Casey
interested.
Affleck.
So you're cold?
I'm cold. He beat Ryan Gosling. Come on. I just can't forgive it. You know?
I
just
understand.
can't. I just
As
can't.
Laurel said, she will hold a grudge.
I do. Is that right?
Yes. Trust me.
John, are you hot or cold on The Instigators streaming on Apple TV Plus in early August?
I mean, obviously it'd be better if it was Ben Affleck, but it looks like the kind of movie that if it was in theaters, yeah, sure, we'll go see it if it's that week's movie. But I have to say cold because I know we will not watch it when it comes to when it comes on Apple TV Plus. Even though we have Apple TV Plus and we love the morning show and other shows on there, I just know I won't watch it.
And Laurel, this will be competing, I think, against Trap, which moved up a week.
Oh, did it?
It moved up a week in its release schedule, I believe. So I'll look up that official date as we get Rockstar to react to The Instigators. Did you get a chance to see the trailer?
I did, and I'm going to go cold. I want to do two things. I'm really weird about sounds. Cannot stand Casey Affleck's voice. Can't stand it.
Agree. Big
Just can't.
agree.
It's just it's a odd thing. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. The other thing is, can you tell me the equation or the ratio of trying to do an action film / drama / comedy of how much comedy do we include? How many jokes? Because it looks like there are a ton of jokes in there, and I don't really like that. I kind of want. I'm either going to see a comedy or a drama movie. Drama movie with a few jokes. This looks like it has a ton of "Don't touch a white man's radio" joke. I don't know why. And Casey Affleck's voice so cold.
See, the vibe I got from this was Wolves, which is the movie that's coming out with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, where it is
a worse version of it, yes.
The Instigators is a worse version. You
Yes.
think? I think The Instigators looks better than Wolves.
I would just rather watch George Clooney and Brad Pitt though.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about Matt Damon and I don't like Casey Affleck. So.
I feel like they both. Good pull. I pulled a random Team America pull the other day. I think they're both wasting their budgets on the actors in it. That's my answer to both of those movies. I think you could do the exact same movie without Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Matt Damon, Casey Affleck. There's a lot of people in this movie. I feel like you're wasting your budget.
By the way, Trap ended up moving up to August 2nd as a release date. So we will be seeing it
Yes, very excited.
then. August
Fuego.
2nd is interesting because August 2nd is a Tuesday. Which that doesn't make any sense to me, how it would move up to August 2nd.
It says it's a limited theatrical release on August 2nd and then Apple TV Plus on the 9th.
Must be some early
No, I'm talking about
screenings.
Trap.
I'm saying this. If it moved up to August 2nd,
Yeah.
this will not be competing on Apple TV
Oh, yeah,
Plus.
yeah. Got it.
We will not see it until August 9th. August 2nd is a Friday, by the way.
Oh, it is. I'm looking at July 2nd, which is a Tuesday.
That is indeed a Tuesday.
My gosh. It's
I have
been
a
a
haircut
long
that
week.
day.
I apologize. We're going to move on to this next subject. Still doesn't make you right about Fallon. We go to this. Filmmaker Jan Dominga of Lovecraft Country is now no longer set to direct Blade. Marvel Studios' long in the works reboot of the vampire superhero franchise set to star Mahershala Ali has now seen its second director leave the project.
Whoops.
Bassam Tariq exited the production in 2022. Are you hot or cold, Tyler, on this Blade movie ever actually being released?
Cold. I don't see it coming out.
It's been a production nightmare.
Yeah, it has been for years now. Which is weird because they already had Blade show up in, was it the Eternals post credits? Yeah. So I think they might try and dig it up and scrape together a movie a few years from now, but
I feel like they got to start shooting it for that to happen.
Yeah, and to do that you need a director. So I'm real cold on this, but I think it'll eventually come out, but not anytime soon.
Mahershala Ali, by the time they filmed this, may have been the exact same age as Wesley Snipes would have been had they just cast him in another Blade movie.
So.
Probably
Laurel,
so.
are you hot or cold on this movie ever getting released?
I'm gonna say cold. Who is is it him? Is it Mahershala Ali?
It's not Mahershala Ali from what I've heard.
I mean, I don't know why it's taking. It's a vampire movie. Why is it this difficult to make? I don't understand
Not
it.
a vampire movie.
Do you
It
think
seems like it's the story.
Do you think, John, that it has a lot to do with the fact that it's a Disney movie and they're wondering whether or not to go hard R, or they're wondering whether or not to tone it down, or they can't get the right tone? Or
Jordan Peele, they said, I thought it would be for Blade because, apparently he went and met with Disney and it was for an X-Men movie. And he basically turned them down because they didn't want to do whatever his vision was. So maybe Disney is just being, I don't know if it's Marvel, Disney, whatever it is. They're not.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm not going full Kathleen Kennedy with Kevin Feige yet. He's got I'm going to give until the end of this arc, which includes Blade. They need to just kill Blade, move on. There's post-credit scenes, I feel like. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but one is going to be Kang that are not going to get paid off because the way the Kang post-credit scenes were in Quantumania, we know that's not going to pay off with Jonathan Majors now. So I just let that be like, that's a cool post-credit scene. If you want to bring back Jon Snow to be his character, because that's who Blade was talking to in that, it was Kit Harington. Use him, but just move on with Blade. They're releasing 4 movies in 2025, if I remember correctly. Thunderbolts, Captain America, and Fantastic Four. Those are all 3 pretty big movies. You're not sneaking. It's not like you're sneaking in a random new hero in there to then also have Blade. You pull Blade off. Don't worry about having Blade for the Avengers, because that's the other thing. Is Mahershala Ali going to be out there fighting in the final fight of the Avengers? It's hard for me to imagine Blade out there. I mean,
couldn't they just sort of insert him and people be like, "Oh, that's awesome," and then not even have his movie?
Just bring him for that. I'd be fine with that. But I feel like those 3 are massive to set up what is ultimately going to happen with the Avengers. Focus on those 3, get those 3 right, move Blade off the schedule, do Avengers, and then reassess everything after that.
Goose says Blade ain't happening. If I had to guess, Mahershala Ali's probably walked, but they haven't announced it yet because they don't have a replacement. I have a feeling he's inked to play this character.
I think he is.
And contractually, he'd have to pay to get out of it.
Because usually you sign 5-6 picture deals when you do that. Now they may never use you after your first movie. He's stuck. And here's the thing. They're doing Deadpool, so that's going to be ultra, ultra, ultra violent. And you just mentioned they have the first 7 Saws on Disney+. So, I mean, Disney's taking a step forward that they need to take. So you can do Blade.
So what's the issue?
The thing is, you could do Blade the way it was, PG-13, if you just back off a little bit on what blood actually appears on the screen.
And they did hire the director of Lovecraft Country to come in there,
which was ultra-violent.
But he's gone now. I don't know how many more directors they're going to go through with this project. Hot or cold on Blade ever actually being released, Rockstar?
Cold. What if they're having trouble with the script, Blade gets in financial trouble and can't be a vampire anymore, so he has to quit, and during the day he has to work with a law firm delivering errands and stuff like that, and they can call the movie Blade Runner.
Wow.
See, it takes a while to get to a bad joke.
It did take a long time to get there, but that does sound like it would be a great tie-in with the Ant-Man Quantumania sequel or something, where him and Paul Rudd are doing deliveries together. I would watch that.
When you said
I thought he was going Wesley Snipes tax evasion with it.
You said lawyer. I thought you were talking about you just put him in Daredevil and call it a day. But
honestly, why can't they just
pair him up with Spud?
M. Night Shyamalan or someone do it? Why can't they just get a director like that to do it?
Because those guys want control. They want creative control, and Disney obviously does not want to give any creative control. That's been the issue.
They hire every other person that has done one short film. Why can't they just get someone like that? I just don't understand it.
Those people that have had success have been nobodies before they did Marvel. I mean, Taika Waititi hadn't hardly done anything. Ends up having one of the best in Thor Ragnarok. The Russos had done,
and then one of the worst in Love and Thunder.
Me, Myself, and Irene was the biggest thing the Russos
had
done.
And those guys from Stranger Things. It seems like that's moving along at a snail's pace too.
Yeah, they got nothing else going on.
Okay, next question here. Laurel, Joey Chestnut, and Takeru Kobayashi, 2 of the world's most famous competitive eaters, will participate in the Ultimate Hot Dog Eating Contest live on Netflix on Labor Day. The news came shortly after Coney Island's iconic Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest banned Chestnut from this year's competition after he signed a deal with vegan hot dog brand Impossible Foods. Are you hot or cold on this actually being a more interesting Netflix matchup than Tyson and Paul, which is set for November?
I mean, I just don't think that Tyson fight's going to be. I mean, he's so old. Like, have you seen the things with them? Like,
So you're hotter on the hot dog eating contest.
yeah, I think the hot dog eating contest will be better, probably.
John, hot or cold on this being a better contest than Tyson v. Paul?
In Fuego, because Kobayashi has been gone for so long and he was the dominant one. He disappears and then Joey Chestnut wins. This is like a boxer, in his prime has to stop because he goes to jail or something like that.
He's Jonathan Majors in the
then
last
he comes
movie.
back, yeah. Then he comes back, and then you finally have the title fight, 30 years later when they're past their prime. But I think they're both still probably in their prime because I think Kobayashi still does a lot of other stuff. He's just banned from the hot dog stuff. So I'm all about this. I will watch it. It's probably the most... There hasn't been much, but it's probably the most anticipated live Netflix thing that has existed that I really want to watch.
Rockstar, they're both seem to be like, this is going to be streaming loudly at the Lunsford household on Labor Day. Are you hot or cold that this is actually going to turn out to be better than Tyson v. Paul?
Yeah, I don't care about I didn't care about either of them, but I agree with Laurel. I don't think the Tyson. I think they're going to keep pushing it back, and then the hot dog. There's nothing. Top 5 gross things is somebody dipping something in water and shoving it down their mouth and me consuming it. The only thing I'd rather watch is Stanley from The Office doing it for a raise. It was like that was one of the best episodes, but I wouldn't watch either. But I guess if you made me choose, I'd do the hot dog one. I don't care about the Tyson fight. There's just no interest in that.
I guess what I think they should do. I think they should do the hot dog as a kickoff, but they should have like a 5-week event where they compete in different, because they all do tons of different kinds of foods. Have like a 5-week showdown where you compete and you get points depending on how many hot dogs you eat, how many
pizza week.
Yeah, how many pans of lasagna you eat, how many buffalo wings you eat, stuff like that. I think if it works, Netflix needs to do a whole series with them.
Steven says Nathan's treating Joey Chestnut like Caitlin Clark. Pretty good analogy there.
Yeah.
Does he have to surrender the mustard belt? I assume he doesn't get to keep it.
I assume so.
Tyler, hot or cold on this hot dog matchup being better entertainment for you than Paul v. Tyson?
I'm conflicted because I want the Paul and Tyson fight to be good. I want Logan to get his teeth knocked out, but I think the Kobayashi return will be better. Oh, it was Jake Paul. Dang it.
That's the one that's in WWE that you said, right?
Hey, there's still a chance for Logan Paul to get his teeth knocked
there's a
out
chance
because
they
he
could-
is working in
the
that
brothers do it instead.
sort of
I get
environment
them
there.
confused every day.
I got him confused one time, and it was
Oh,
much
I've done
harsher.
it a million times.
Yeah, it was much harder.
Jake Paul is the crypto scammer, right?
No, that's Jim Dunaway.
That was so quick.
I have not met one person yet that's not rooting for Tyson in that fight. Is there anybody rooting for Paul?
because
10-year-olds.
Even if Paul knocks him out,
Are they?
it's like, well, Mike Tyson's old. Mike Tyson
The only
flopped.
fan base for
this is
Paul
all
lovers.
this is all a work. I mean, nobody can ever legitimately think that Jake Paul beat Mike Tyson in a fight. Like, there's
I
some
don't think he
reason
will. I
why.
just don't- yeah.
But if it did happen, there's some reason why it happened that everybody's going to say.
John, I'm going to allow you for the next minute or so to tell a story about me that you have never told publicly, which is about my obsession with hot dogs.
Nashville.
Anywhere we go, can you just quickly let everybody know what my philosophy is when it comes to hot dogs?
Which, before I get to that, somebody in the chat was like, y'all need to have an eating contest up here on the 4th. I mean, that could be
You
something.
will get sick. No.
Also, let me also say, too.
This is the Cadbury eggs all over
Everybody,
again. No.
before we get to this, everybody's like, oh, well, I'm not
Cadbury
watching
eggs?
the Nathan's hot dog eating contest without Joey Chestnut. Everybody that's saying that is just trying to take a stance. It is going to be the most competitive and actually probably the best hot dog eating contest yet because he ain't going to be in it.
That's a good point.
I mean, it's like if you removed Alabama from college football, everything would have been a lot more competitive the last couple of decades. It's the same kind of thing here that...
I also agree Florida State should have made the playoff, John. I'm glad that you said that and were brave enough
Somebody
to come out
said
and say that.
in the chat, wait, you're telling me you're going to watch this over Boston College versus Florida State? Absolutely, I am. But hot dogs. Tim is obsessed with hot dogs. Anywhere there's a hot dog cart, Tim is going to stop and get a hot dog. We were coming out of a Preds game for my bachelor party. We went to Nashville, and we were coming out of a Preds game where we had eaten beforehand. It was the day of the SEC championship,
Yep.
the Joe Burrow year where they beat Georgia. We went to a restaurant, sports bar, ate, watched the SEC championship, continually ate for like 4 hours because that game lasts forever.
Yep.
Went to a Preds game, ate at the Preds game.
Yep.
On the way back, it's like, oh, I'm full, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. We're going back to our Airbnb, and there's hot dog carts all over Nashville,
Yep.
and Tim is like, oh my God, I'm in heaven.
Yeah.
this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And he had to stop at hot dog carts and eat hot dogs. And every time I leave a professional sporting event now, I always pull my phone out and take a picture of all because there's always hot dog carts outside professional sporting events. And Laurel's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I got to send this to Tim. There's hot dog carts out here.
Quick question. You said hot dog carts and hot dogs. We did multiple.
I had multiple hot dog cart visits throughout the weekend.
Oh, I thought you meant that night when you
It
came.
may have been. I don't remember.
We had already
Wow.
eaten multiple times, some decent meals before that point, and then the hot dog cart came in, but he
see,
did multiple times over the weekend.
Here's where the redemption story comes in. Because I have not gone to a single hot dog cart since we went and visited Leslie and her board certified
There it
team
is.
at Way to Wellness.
Well, I think it was
My
just
life
set
is
up.
reformed. It wasn't just a whole setup.
I was lost.
I was lost. I was obsessed with trying to get a hot dog down my gullet any chance I possibly could. And now I love the idea of living a cleaner lifestyle, which is what I've been doing.
And if we did a eating contest, we would have destroyed everybody up here. But now, thanks to our friends at Way to Wellness, you see us weighing in right here. We cannot destroy everybody because we have made life changes here. As you see Tim weighing in right there, looking very svelte up on the mat. Then you see me weighing in, wearing the exact same thing I'm wearing right now. Leslie in the background there and her whole board certified team helping us out. As you can see them checking Tim's blood pressure. Go to aplanforme.com. I'm on a plan. Tim's on a plan. Jim Dunaway's on a different plan. My dad is on a different plan. We all have our own plan. You can get a plan. Go to aplanforme.com. Learn more about our friends at Way to Wellness, and you can look happy like Tim right there.
Absolutely. It's now time to get to Luntz's List. A big-time TV premiere takes place just in time for Father's Day. As Variety says, quote, in Season 2, House of the Dragon feels like it's finally the show it was always meant to be, which is a tragedy of epic proportions and bleaker than even the famously violent and cynical Game of Thrones could ever dream. As we look back at the foundation of the series, we discuss the success of the first season. Let's find out what stood out to John as big wins of the series as we jump into another edition of Luntz's List.
What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. What is this? What is this? Nonsense list, nonsense list, oh. Nonsense list to find. Nonsense list to find. Nonsense list to find. Nonsense list to find.
Alrighty, John, ahead of the Season 2 premiere, I have tasked you with coming up with the 5 things that House of the Dragon Season 1 got the most right. I am looking so forward to watching this on Sunday night and hearing that HBO staticky sound and hearing that Game of Thrones theme. I can feel the energy percolating through my veins as if I have just eaten at 5 different hot dog carts on the way to watch this show. I cannot wait for House of the Dragon Season 2, which kicks off Sunday night.
I can't either. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Why House of the Dragon was so good and why we're looking forward to Season 2.
Sounds good. These are the 5 best things about Season 1. If you have not watched House of the Dragon Season 1, there is a chance here for some spoilers, and I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. We're going to try to keep it relatively fair here for those that may be catching up on the series right now, but you've had some time.
Trickles of Game of Thrones. It took me a second. I thought you were saying that there was a.
This is the way I wrote it on my list, so I decided to go with
I
it.
honestly thought to myself, what character was Tricklesoft got?
I was thinking the same thing, Tim.
You know, y'all told me to handwrite this.
Party clown? Hey, I'm here to do balloon animals for the king.
That was the one from Quick Change, right? It was Trickles the Clown. There's just little trickles of the houses you know from Game of Thrones. There's just little trickles of the lore that you heard about in Game of Thrones and you're seeing play out now. There's just enough of, hey, remember that cool show you watched?
Right.
Forget the ending because we're going backwards instead of forwards. You don't have to live with Bran as king.
Callbacks.
Just enough callbacks. You just have enough of like, oh, there's a Lannister, which there's actually 2 because it's one guy playing twins. There's a Baratheon. There's houses you know. There's names you know. Oh, I remember when that person was mentioned on Game of Thrones as remember back in the day when so-and-so Targaryen. There's just little trickles and just little bits that ultimately keep you engaged in the same universe. You don't feel like you're watching a different show. You very much feel like you're watching the same thing. Just little trickles. The clown. trickles, just little.
Honestly, episode 1, Trickles the Clown comes out, I'm going to lose it. If that is something that happens here in
Turns out-
season 2.
Yeah, turns
like
out
a jester.
there's a court jester, and his name is
It was
Trickles.
me all along. I'm Trickles. Okay, let's go to number 4.
You guys have a lot of sex with relatives. The hell were y'all doing back then?
This sounds like a Bob Saget America's Funniest
Yes.
Home
Oh, God,
Videos
it did.
voice.
He did every voice. And the tightest, smallest knot on his necktie. Have you ever watched it?
Okay, at number 4, the theme song.
The best trickle from Game of Thrones.
I don't feel like I spoiled this. I feel like I reaffirmed this for you.
Yes, you had to keep the same theme song. Doing so very much sets the mood. You got to set the mood right off the bat. This very much sets the mood. I like the intro with the blood kind of trickling through as the song is playing. See, trickles theme. But Ramin Djawadi is the best composer out there. He did Game of Thrones, Westworld. He has done a lot of things. He did Fallout. That's what I said. We just talked about him recently. He did Fallout too. But he created arguably the greatest theme of all time, and you've got to keep using it. And the best thing they did, the thing they got right was, of all the trickles you could bring back from Game of Thrones, theme song was number 1.
What Game of Thrones understands that Star Wars does not is there's certain things that makes that. And Game of Thrones said, we are going to go with the most legendary television theme song opening ever, arguably, for this show. Because it just screams Game of Thrones. Star Wars said, oh, we're not going to give you an opening crawl for Rogue One. We're not going to go with the music that you know and love from the series and other properties. And in my opinion, the greatest respect that you can give to your own property is to pay respect to the music that made that property what it was emotionally. Tyler, do you agree or disagree with number 4 on Luntz's list?
Absolutely. When I started House of the Dragon and I first heard the theme song again, it just brought back all the feelings of loving Game of Thrones and remembering how great it was. And then you bring up Star Wars, and I remembered how episode 1 of The Acolyte did not have an opening crawl, just like some Arial blue font on the screen. And it never even gave me a chance to love it because it never felt like Star Wars.
It does bring you in immediately when the titles are done correctly and all that. But
I do wish the thing where it goes through the different characters,
Yeah.
you know, it like goes over their faces and like red and blue and stuff like that. I wish there was a little bit of the original theme trickled in there. I don't know how
would be
exactly
great.
you do
I
it.
agree.
You can't do the whole theme because it's got to be a quick little thing. But somewhere in there, instead of, because they just did like a custom kind of as they
Yeah.
go through it, I wish there had been some way to include the theme in that.
I'm with you. But how funny is it going to be if we go to turn on the TV Sunday night and they've just
They've
developed a
changed
new
It's gone.
theme? And it's going to be like,
1,
oh,
2, 3, 4, happy days.
hey, I'm Trickles the Clown. I've been here the whole time.
It's just like bad. It's like really
He's eating a
bad.
hot dog.
It's like really bad photoshopped him in the background. Of
He looks like
old
the Noid
scenes.
from Domino's.
What happened on season 1? It's like, there's trickles the whole time. Anyway.
Oh, man. Okay, number 3. This has gone off the rails. They better use that damn theme song on Sunday night now that we've talked it into existence about how smart it was. There's no way they developed.
No, they have to
There's
keep
no
it,
way.
no.
Okay. Number 3. Oh,
So good.
this maybe should have been number 1. This is such a good pull.
The two, Rhaenyra, like they look like they could be twins. Like they look.
Allison is
You
even
don't?
more. I think
I'll take
Allison's
Allison.
way
Allison
more.
is way more, I think.
Allison is
looking
better. I
like
don't
her.
like the Rhaenyra, the older Rhaenyra. I don't like the
I
casting.
thought they
Young
look
Rhaenyra.
alike though.
I like older Rhaenyra, the casting, but I think the younger Rhaenyra was
Yes.
way better.
She
Yeah.
seems like she could be ruthless. But like
Young
this new one,
Rhaenyra is going to play Supergirl in James Gunn's DC.
Yeah.
young Rhaenyra was so much better than old Rhaenyra. And Allison, I like the new older Allison.
I agree with you, Rockstar.
So I just think I do not like Rhaenyra.
I
Sorry.
thought they did a good job with the casting, but I would not have had a problem if they just kept the young versions and gave them a different
Exactly.
They
haircut to
kept them
make
for like
them
a
look
year
little
and then
older.
like switched to the like new people this season.
They just
like,
went
had like a
so,
full.
and that's the other thing. Switching after 5 episodes was kind of jarring, and they kept. There's so many time jumps that it got
I
a
just
little
don't think
jarring.
they thought it would be this successful, so they were like, "Let's just go ahead and get ahead of it."
And look, by the way, Sir Christian, you don't age.
I hate.
That's the
him.
one.
You're
I-
not going to age.
the one.
I should have gray hair. No. You don't age.
He really doesn't. Like he looks exactly
No,
the
it's
same. Like
awful.
how is that
There's
possible?
no effort
Yeah.
put into it. Like, seriously, we're skipping 10 years.
Could
of
you
this
say the
this
same
guy's got a
about
little bit
Damon?
of stress in his life.
Could you say the same
Damon,
about
like, at least
Damon?
they cut his hair.
See,
So like at
Damon,
least there's.
I mean, you literally could have changed the haircuts, I feel like, on the younger girls and probably kept them. in what you're doing. I think you could have.
I don't think so.
Now I like Olivia Cook. Is that Allison? Is that her name? She was good in Ready Player One. She's a good actress.
And Bates Motel, which is a good show. Yes.
So I'm fine with her switching. I just like the younger Rhaenyra better. That I wish it's like do something to make it work. And then if you switch this time, okay, it's a little quick to be like, man, I kind of miss her. I wish she was still on the show. I don't hate the new one. I just like if you're going, this is that same person. I like the younger character better.
I do not.
Young Rhaenyra just looked just fierce and ruthless. I thought they nailed the casting for that.
Yeah.
I wish they could have kept it.
I agree. It was a mixture of innocence and ruthlessness that was just perfect for that actress to play that role. Is there anybody that's been announced in the upcoming season as like a big name that's coming into the series that
you know
we know
who
of?
actually turned it down that was supposed to be on it was Henry Cavill, and he turned it down because that's when he got that deal to do Superman, and then it went away.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a person that was rumored out there to be on it.
Who was he supposed to play? Damon?
No, this was
I
to be
mean
on
the
this
new
season.
character,
Oh, in the new
this
season.
Yeah.
upcoming season. I don't know that they've announced anybody specifically like, Henry Cavill's playing so and so. I don't know that they've necessarily done that. That is something that will like pop up as you go.
Yeah.
And of course, you don't want to spoil because it's a story that already exists. You don't want to spoil. Oh, this part of the story is potentially coming up here.
The casting director for House of the Dragon doesn't get enough acclaim, and Game of Thrones was so well cast, and House of the Dragon's continuing that it really does not feel, and I hate to continue to go back to stuff like The Acolyte, which feels so far removed from the source material. But House of the Dragon feels like it enhances the source material, which is what you want
It
a
absolutely
prequel to
does.
do.
And I think, and a lot of people will disagree with this, but I don't care. I think on Game of Thrones, like the only people that people really care about is Daenerys, and like they care about the Targaryen family. Everyone else is boring. Like they asked,
No,
like they asked
Starks.
Matt Smith. They said, "What do you think is better? Like, would you think about Jon Snow or like the Targaryen family?" He's
Which
like,
is also required to say
we
the
have,
Targaryen
but they're
family.
like, they have dragons. I mean, that's the cool part that everyone liked about the show was Daenerys.
Now,
and I guess Jason Momoa at some points, and then like the
That was my first
dragons.
season.
I disagree, Laurel.
I think I disagree with
Because
that.
It's an
You're
ensemble.
Team Green, so what would you know?
I understand that this is going to
Y'all
get
about to
personal
fight.
throughout because I am Team Allison, I am Team Green, and Rockstar's just like, continue. This is worse than Fallon.
I don't know how you
It's trickling in now.
It is.
I'm not going to go that far, but I do think that's why I had Daenerys as one of the best TV characters of all time because she paved the way for everything you're seeing on screen right now
Fallon.
with that family. Can you imagine if Jimmy Fallon shows up on the show?
Oh, it'd be a hit.
Funny
as hell.
You had like Ed Sheeran on the last
Yeah,
season of
he
Game of
was on
Thrones.
there.
Why not throw Jimmy
Randomly,
Fallon on
yeah.
there? But she did so good. She set the stage for everything that you see now. Now I know the story has been written and George R.R. Martin has
She's
created
the
the
entry
world.
into the family.
But how she portrayed that character is how every other character that's playing in House of the Dragon has to perform.
Would you not say she was the favorite character? There's no way that she was not.
My argument is not that she wasn't the favorite. My argument was it was an ensemble that made that show the greatness
I just think
it was.
when you think Game of Thrones, you think of Targaryen.
I'm going to say at the end, yes, because it was all about her arc in the grand scheme of things. She's the one that ended up leading the charge. She's the one
about
that got
Jon
everybody on
Snow.
her side. She's
But
the one
that
that did
was a love
everything.
story
And then at the very, very, very end, basically, because the other thing is Jon Snow is also a Targaryen, so it also builds up to her character and her family. That then the Starks, and I'll do that in air quotes, counting Jon Snow, come in. She's gone. Bran's king. Jon Snow's the one that kills her. Everything happens with the Starks at that point. For a good period of time, it was about Targaryen versus Lannister. But for the first 3 or 4 seasons, it was about Stark.
But
There
could-
doesn't have
but
to
really
be-
quick, could you not also say this is the only show that's been greenlit? All the others that did not have dragons and didn't have the Targaryens did not greenlit.
Jon Snow was greenlit. Jon
No,
Snow
it's-
TV
it's
show,
off
wasn't it?
now.
It was, and then it got canceled. But
That one's back on now. Not the Jon Snow one, but there's another prequel.
What about the one with Naomi Watts? Because that was like part of.
I feel there's a million of them that have trickled out there. It's kind
and
of like Star
but this
Wars.
is the
You
only
name a
one
bunch
that
of
has been
things and
made.
don't do it.
Trickles.
I understand you're a Daenerys fan. I get that, Laurel. And I'm not taking anything away from that. You're
I'm just saying
representing your
my
girl.
piece.
I
I'm just
understand.
saying it.
And you're representing your girl after she was bashed, after going through the bells,
And the
from whom
actress
the
even
bells
hates
toll.
it too.
Okay, and I understand that. But characters like the Hound in the Mountain fighting in the final episode of that season.
Would you say that
is something
people would think
were
Pedro
looking
Pascal
forward to.
more now too as one of the more famous people?
You're picking
right now,
celebrities.
yeah.
You're talking
No, I'm
about
talking about that
celebrities.
people
But the character-
remember. That people remember because they'll remember that fight.
All I remember Pedro Pascal is getting his head crushed.
That's what everyone wants to see with the Paul Tyson fight. All right, let's go to number 2.
Who's doing it to who?
Tyson's the mountain in that
I
one.
mean, I'm assuming.
Let's go to number 2 on Luntz's list. All right.
While he's writing that, can I ask a question about,
Yes.
I don't know if House of the Dragon, you feel bad for the poor bastard that's to light all the candles every day?
You know who does that?
They're like 40 feet in the air and there's 10,000 of them, those chandeliers.
Trickles the clown that has
My
to do that.
God, that's the first thing I said. I was like, God, who lights these candles every day?
All right, this is a weird one.
Oh, I agree. What?
I don't know what to say about this, John. Laurel, I have questions.
That should be our trivia team
Let me
name.
hold on.
Should be our trivia name.
Wait, and this is the things you like about it? About the show?
Hold on. This is the thing is I got right. It's not what I said I liked
Also
about it.
competing today, Madness Incest. I can hear the voiceover.
This is not what I said I liked about it. This is what I got right. What's the most beloved couple from the show currently?
I get
No, it's Rhaenyra and Daemon, who are uncle and niece. The whole reason they say the Mad King went mad is because he comes from a bloodline of incestuous relationships. What happened in Game of Thrones with the Targaryen? She eventually went mad. The whole point you're building up to with House of the Dragon is how crazy this bloodline truly is, leading up to what ended up being the Mad King, and then ultimately ended up with the Mad Queen, if you want to call her that, with Daenerys. This show has somehow done that to where you love it. Everybody eats it
Generally,
up.
people do not care. I mean, that's just it. Because I'm on
general public
TikTok.
is all about it.
I'm on Etsy. I see what they're selling on here, and this is the couple people. And
Get it.
they
I get
even
it. Internet
had.
culture loves it.
Did it get it right? Did it get all of that
I'm not
right?
saying it did. I'm saying you could have just put Madness up on the board, and it would have made us all a little bit more comfortable.
They asked. They were
telling
doing
you.
like an interview of it, and they were like, "How is this possible that people love Damon?" They said they love this character that you are supposed to hate. And that's just, everyone always loves the bad people more. That's just how it is. Like, look
I
at
just
everything.
have to laugh at Jace's comment. This show got incest right. Happy Friday, everyone.
I mean, that sounds weird.
No, but it's true.
But it's the
It is
truth.
true.
That's one hot dog cart Rhaenyra should have stayed away from.
I'm just telling you what it got right. It did. I'm just telling you.
Let's go to number 1 on
I'm
Luntz's
so
list.
sorry.
It was critical acclaim for number 3, John. Congratulations on that. But number 2, I mean, Rockstar, would you like to
young and
comment?
old casting always goes back to incest. You can't do the young without the old.
House of the Dragon.
Yeah.
Season 2. We're all looking forward to it.
Not a Chinese restaurant. It is actual. What is that?
Steven says Luntz's favorite scene of Star Wars is when Leia kissed Luke. No, because he's a Return of the Jedi fan. I'm an Empire Strikes
That's
Back
right.
fan.
All of y'all are Empire lovers.
Number 1.
You gotta get the dragons right in the show called House of the Dragon, and the dragons were good in this, and it got great at the end. Once we actually had like a legit fight in the sky between dragons and their riders, and this one looks like it's going to turn that up to 11, which I'm excited for. I thought Game of Thrones very much got the dragons right, and for the CGI as time evolved, I thought they did a good job with the dragons, especially once the oh my God, the Night King got one, and then I thought the scene where the evil brother of Reek, I can't remember what his name is now, when he shot the one out of the sky, I thought that scene was really done well. What the heck was
remember his
What
name
was their
either.
name? You know what I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name either.
Not Ramsey.
No.
Jeff?
I can't think of their family name now.
Trickle?
But they shot it out of the sky with like, yes, from
Yes.
the Iron Islands. Oh
Why
my
are we
God.
not? Why are we blanking on this?
It doesn't
don't
matter.
remember.
Let's keep going.
Shot the dragon out of the sky as they were starting to work
Joy,
their way.
something Joy.
Greyjoy.
Greyjoy. Greyjoy.
I bet it was Greyjoy.
Greyjoy.
There we go.
Shot one out of the sky. I thought that scene was really well done. And then, of course, Drogon was really well done the whole time because he's the only one that survived. But then evolving the dragons, even though I know it's back in time, but strictly of the time of where we are.
What?
We've ruined Game of Thrones forever. Jace said Trickle shot the dragon.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the team up of
He died very slowly.
Trickles and Miranda Taint. But It's the dragons are done right. I thought it was really well done, especially towards the end there.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see how the dragons evolve, and the much bigger dragons too, because the 3 we saw in Game of Thrones are much smaller compared to the ones we have in this one.
It's because of all the stuff at what God.
Please, can we please just let's try to land this dragon, okay? Hey, by the way, HBO
all the steroids and chicken. That's what they're from.
HBO has officially announced, which by the way, there's a free trial available for Max if you want to sample House of the Dragon. Now's the time to do it.
Watch season 1 and get
you
first
can watch
episode.
all of season 1 and then get ready for season 2. It's only 8 episodes for season 1? No, 10. 10 episodes for season 1. HBO has already renewed House of the Dragon for season 3 in advance of its season 2 premiere on Sunday. Are you excited to hear that season 3 is already on the way?
Yeah, and I think that they've done something good where I know that they filmed somewhere else, so that's how they were able to get through the strike rules. But I think HBO, except with the exception of Euphoria, they're usually really good about getting the show out if it's not every year, at least
and
close.
Westworld.
That way people are still excited about it, and it's not that came out 4 years ago. I don't care. So I think that's great that they're already starting on the 3rd one.
Gosh, I can't wait. We are going to have a reaction series that we film on Mondays to House of the Dragon season 2, and we're going to shoot one every week. Maybe Laurel can be a part of a few of those. Who knows? We can work that out. But we would love that. And Rockstar, I know you're completely caught up on House of the Dragon season 1. You're ready for season 2?
I think I've watched it twice because my wife started a month after me, so I had to sit there and watch it again too.
So you'll be a part of this reaction series.
Yeah, it'll trickle down to all of us.
That'll be fun. That's a good pun there based on the character that we've somehow invented for Game of Thrones. Tyler, I know you'll be a part of the watch party as well.
I will. And also, where is it? Somebody in the chat, there it is. Justin said that Trickles the Clown should be played by Jimmy Fallon.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. We will cast it that way.
Trickles the Magic Dragon.
I don't know what else to say other than Trickles would be a very fun character that I'd like to hang out with at MyBookie.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to think of something witty to say with
That's all I got. I think we've broken the internet today.
Go to mybookie.ag. Don't use the promo code Trickles. Use the promo code next round. You see it right there. You get a first deposit bonus on us. And it's on the screen. And you can play in the sports book there.
He keeps reading the comments. Can you tell?
I can tell.
Play in the sports book with the Mavs tomorrow night. Tonight,
John. There will be no tomorrow night.
Yeah, there will be no tomorrow night as the Celtics
Come on, Luka.
Complete the sweep tonight. It's going to be a cold, bare corner of the desk over there for Tim once Luka goes away after tonight. But go bet on that series at mybookie.ag. Play in the casino, play the slots, and play that live casino with real live dealers, real live cards dealt out to you. Mybookie.ag, promo code next round.
This may be Luka's last night
as a Mav
at the desk in the studio because
I don't know if you heard something. It's like, oh man,
I've already got rid of Jamie Benn. We're gonna have to get rid of Luka.
Do you think their chances of winning the series are lukewarm?
Yes, Rockstar, I do. It's too painful right now for
chances
me to get
of winning
really
the series is trickling away.
Yeah. But I'm in fuego on watching it tonight. It should be a lot of fun.
Sure.
So we had to win Game 3.
Well,
we didn't win Game 3.
What a boring finals on both sides. Florida's destroying Edmonton on the NHL, and Boston's destroying Dallas on the other side.
I would like to see more from Dallas for sure, so hopefully they can get the win tonight. Obviously, tonight is a must-win for Dallas, and I think that it's going to be a tough task to try to claw back any sort of momentum in this series. There's one last thing I want to do here before we end the week on the Meltdown, and that is to get into just a little bit more about Triple Threat Trivia, as we do have one team in here that is going to the championship round. You guys know you will be facing the Pennant Grace. Mm-hmm. That is one team. Rockstar, you got a chance to see in person them secure their victory. Is the Pennant Grace a formidable foe for the Little Kicks?
Yes, I saw. I was very surprised by and very disappointed in Spud. I hate to say it, but they did really well. And it's just I think they were like us, where they were so behind in the beginning and they caught up, and it was just like almost like, oh my God, they're just going to get destroyed. And then it's just how the game's played. It's all about strategery, and They'll be all right. I don't think they're getting as many interview requests as we are getting because we were the first winners. Because
It's a big deal.
I'm going on Fallon. I'm going on the infamous. If you listen to the next round, the infamous Katie Couric has been nonstop in my ear with the trivia newsletters. But yeah, I'm excited.
Laurel, coming up this next week, your husband is participating in the final round to figure out who the last championship contender will be to end the month. Him and my brother-in-law, Jeff, are going up against...
That's a good team.
It is a very good team. Brian Pavlik and Lance Taylor.
That's a good team, too.
Lance can run hot or cold, it
Not much
appears.
enthusiasm there.
And then there's the Taylors, Taylor Korn and Reed Taylor.
That could be like a surprise.
It could be the biggest upset in the history of Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia.
I think the Taylors are the Mavericks right now.
Wow.
Ooh, yikes.
That's...
I'm talking about the Mel Gibson movie. What are y'all talking about?
Right, exactly, yeah. I think that it is going to be a very competitive round number 3 and the most competitive match in the history of the Meltdown Triple Threat Trivia Arena. Oh, look at this. Gosh, we missed it. Reed Taylor was there.
We're still in it, man. They're
Not
still
want to
in
be
it.
equated to the Mavericks, but it is going to be a very competitive championship round for sure, as we are going to give those titles to a team for the very first time at the end of this month. We appreciate all of you being a part of the journey. If you've missed any of our team trivia, we're working on a little project to get you caught up, but you can watch the streams from the past 2 Wednesdays to go ahead and get your team that you're rooting for there in the finals and become a fan today. For the entire Meltdown crew, we appreciate you being here with us for another week. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us before you head on out. And we'd also appreciate if you'd subscribe here to the Meltdown so you don't miss anything, as we will continue to be here with you all next week, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern.